There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He's told us not to blow it, 'cause he knows it's all worthwhile. He told me, let the children use it, let the children use it, let all the children boogie.
Good evening. You're listening to BBC Radio. The time is currently 6 p.m. We would like to start tonight's report with some very interesting news from the Royal Observatory. Strange lights have been spotted erupting from the surface of Mars and moving out into space. The Royal Observatory has stated that these eruptions are harmless but phenomenal nonetheless. If any of you listening at home have a telescope, why not head into your garden tonight and have a look at this once-in-a-lifetime experience? In other news, good morning. You're listening to BBC Radio. The time is currently 8 a.m. Well, we have some very interesting news for you today. A follow-up to last week's story on the lights from Mars. It turns out that the eruptions were some form of cylinder being sent from Mars to Earth. What these cylinders contain is currently unknown. The first of these cylinders was found early this morning by Ottershaw astronomer Ogilvy. Julie is on the scene at Horsell Common.
Thank you, Terry. I am here at Horsell Common, and I have to say this is a truly extraordinary sight. There is what appears to be a massive metal missile lodged into the sandpit here on the common. What this object is exactly is currently unknown. Perhaps this is some kind of secret German weapon, or maybe it really is a message from Mars. I'm here with local astronomer Ogilvy, the man who discovered the cylinder. So Ogilvy, tell me what you saw.
Well, I came down earlier this morning, just at dawn, having seen the object passing through several days earlier. When I got here, the top of the cylinder was rotating, almost as if someone inside was unscrewing their way out. Now, of course, I panicked. Some poor fellow must have been trapped under it, but obviously...
Are you sure that this rotation wasn't some kind of mechanical process of the cylinder?
What an interesting thought. Yes, I suppose it could be automated. Perhaps the entire cylinder is. It seems almost impossible for there to be a living thing within that cylinder.
Yet you're certain that there is something living within the cylinder. Am I correct, Ogilvy?
I only say this because the unscrewing was irregular. The timing between movements was too imprecise to be the work of a machine.
But you just told us that this was impossible for there to be a living creature inside.
When it first arrived, the heat was tremendous. I couldn't go anywhere near it without risking a heat stroke, or worse, burn so bad my body would be disintegrated, like wet paper. Heat, that phenomenon, would kill anything living, but something inside, as I said earlier, maybe a person got trapped in the cylinder where...
But you just said nobody could survive the heat. So how could this person be alive? Especially if they were struck by this missile.
Well, the unscrewing stopped, so they're evidently dead now. Look, I feel as though you're twisting my words.
Good heavens, it's moving. Ladies and gentlemen, the top of the object is moving.
Just like I said, there's something inside.
Could this be man's first meeting with alien life? We'll keep you updated as events unfold here on Horsell Common. Back to the newsroom.
we interrupt your regular broadcasting to bring you an update from Horsell Common.
The cylinder is open. That is right, listeners. This is it. An historical moment indeed. There seems to be a light from inside, so there is definitely something. Hold on. There seems to be something moving. Oh, dear Lord. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think I can quite describe how hideous these creatures are. They seem to be about the size of a large animal. Perhaps a rhino. Their skin is like wrinkled leather, if I had to make a guess. Their eyes are like two giant green searchlights. Their mouths look Well, it's quite hard to say. I suppose like a beak, made of flesh, and their only limbs seem to be masses of snake-like tentacles. Those young men approaching the pit must have some serious confidence. The creatures have seen them. One has just fallen out of the cylinder. Another has just fallen too. The others seem shy. They retreated back into the cylinder.
The Martians in the pit seem to be struggling. Perhaps the gravity of our world isn't suited to them.
Despite their hideous appearance, they seem quite harmless. We will keep you updated on this momentous occasion. Now we return back to our regularly scheduled broadcast. Very brave indeed. They've raised the white flag, signalling our peaceful intentions to the Martians. The Martians seem cautious. Those at the edge of the cylinder have retreated inside. There's something else coming out of the cylinder now. It looks to be some kind of long metal arm with a disc-like mirror on the end. The mirror is spinning now. Oh my word! The disc is turning men to fire. Great flames seem to be leaping from man to man and striking them dead. It's getting closer. It's about 50 metres off. 40 now. 30. It's getting closer still. Run! Don't
Well, we regret to inform you, ladies and gentlemen, but, well, we have lost contact with Julie and the crew on Horsell Common. We would like to assure you that everything is fine and that the BBC are investigating the matter and shall keep you informed. Now for some music from... Now an update on the Martian story. Soldiers were posted at Horsell Common last night to secure the Martians. A squadron of light cavalry, 2 Maxims, and roughly 400 men from the Cardigan Regiment have been positioned about the Common, and more guns are expected to arrive today. A second cylinder has also landed in Byfleet, but judging from the Martians' limited movements and further military support, it is safe to say the invasion is over. The Martians are on the move. Reports are coming in from Shepperton and Weybridge of Martian sightings. We have a correspondent on the scene at Weybridge. Over to Vera.
Thank you, Terry. Now, as you can no doubt hear, there is nothing eventful happening here at Weybridge. Perhaps the reports were wrong. I have seen several soldiers, tanks and artillery posted around the area, but it's nothing more than a safety measure. Something's going on. I think the Martians are... They've struck the town. I don't know where they are. The Martians have machines. They appear to be giant metal tripods, roughly the height of Big Ben. There are 4 of them. There are 5. A 5th has just appeared to our left. It seems to be carrying a funnel-like object. They all do. The military is fighting back, but it seems futile, ladies and gentlemen. Against these titans, we are just... I don't believe it. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the fighting machines has been downed by a series of tank shells. It seems that things aren't as hopeless as we thought. This could be the turning point.
The Martians have struck Halliford and Walton. Surrey. The Martians are sweeping through Surrey. Colchester has fallen. The Martians have reached London. I repeat, they have reached London. Take your personal belongings and your loved ones and flee. You are not safe in your homes. You are not.
Do with some for the journey. Shame about the lack of company, though.
What sins have we done?
Although on second thoughts...
The morning service was over. I was walking through the roads to clear my brain for the afternoon and then...
And then?
Fire! Earthquake and death! All the work... All our work undone! What Martians!
Oh, what are we?
Fire! Earthquake and death! All the work.
Yes, you've already said that, but well, I'm Selina, and you are.
All the Sunday schools! Everything gone! Everything destroyed! The church? It was rebuilt only 3 years ago! Gone! Swept out of existence! Why? The smoke of her burning! This is the beginning of the end, the great and terrible day of the Lord!
Shut up!
What? How dare you? I am a man of God! The world may be ending, but you can
A
still...
man, for God's sake, you're crumbling under calamity. What use is religion? I saw one of them killed, you know.
What?
It was two, in fact. No, I was there during the HMS Thunderchild's final battle.
You were one of the first witnesses. These angels of death, you saw them arrive.
I was indeed. But, well, they weren't sent here by God, as you believe. No, they came from Mars. You see, a friend of mine, Ogilvy, the Astround astronomer, took me to his observatory that night with my fiancé, who's away fighting in Slough somewhere. But we thought nothing of them at first. And now, I'm a journalist, so of course, naturally, I was curious. And then Ogilvy took me down to the Common, where one of the first cylinders landed. And I was the first there, and the first to leave. No, it wasn't long before the Martians came out to greet us after that.
What, so one of those great striding beasts came out?
No, those are the Martians' fighting machines. The Martian cells sit inside them and pilot them. It's kind of like, well, how to describe it to you? It's like what our brain does with our body.
Well, then what do they look like?
Oh, they are hideous. Imagine this. There's a giant rounded bulk as big as a bear and these two disc-like eyes, and they have like this beak kind of like a mouth with like tentacles all protruding from it.
Well, I'm glad I haven't seen one now. You said you was heading to London. Why was that?
Why don't you listen to the news?
I do not own a radio. I did read the morning newspaper each morning. I heard of some sort of strange fire on the Common as a result of the soldiers and the Martians. I thought it was some sort of wildfire, but clearly now I know it wasn't.
Well, one of those soldiers found his way to my house. He's an artilleryman, in fact. You see, he told me that his group had been wiped out and he had to go to London to report what happened, and, well, it wasn't safe here anymore, so I thought I'd simply go with him. And it was when we reached Weybridge that we saw the fighting machines destroying everything in sight. And, well, me and the artilleryman got separated, so I had to jump into a nearby river just to avoid the panicking masses. But when I had to come up for air, it was then that I saw that the soldiers had decapitated one of the Martians, but, well, they didn't have much luck after that.
They took London. Good heavens, what happened to the government? We'll fall to ruin! Ruin, I tell you!
Oh, look around, you're already in ruin. And as for the government, well, I believe some efforts were made to take them to Birmingham, but whether that was successful, I have no idea.
Oh, my. You said you was heading to planning to leave England. Why?
Well, when I headed to London, there was, I couldn't get a boat out there. When I was talking to people, when I went to the Thames, they thought I was being hysterical. So I decided to head for Essex, as it wasn't that far from London, and the next best way of getting a boat out of England.
I'm guessing you had no luck.
Oh, not quite. You see, when I arrived in Southend, there was plenty of boats ready to take people. As the news of the attack on London had spread, and there was a great exodus that had been gathering for days, all heading to the sea, all hoping for a way out. But I was unable to board a boat, and that is when we saw the fighter machines striding out into the coast, one after another after another. And that's when the HMS Thunderchild, this little battleship that had been sitting in the sea, leapt into action.
Nonsense. What good are battleships if tanks and shells can't stop them?
Oh, she gave them a run for their money, you see. She charged, guns blazing, sending one crashing down into sheets of flame. And then one of the fighter machines hit her side on with its heat ray, but she charged on regardless. She was far too nimble for them. And then she finally managed to hit one of the fighting machines head on, sending it crashing down into the sheets of flames as she sunk to her watery grave.
So what's your plan now, then?
Oh, head home and wait for news.
Shall I turn on the lights?
Oh, we better not. We don't want to give ourselves away. And maybe if there should be a candle around here, see if you can find one.
Yes.
Any luck?
I don't seem to have pockets.
Well, I've told you my story, so come on, curate. Or, vicar, tell me yours.
I'm a curate, actually. My name is... What is that noise?
No, but I've had that somewhere before.
Oh, dear Lord, it's happening again!
It's
the bombs!
That's it, I heard it when I was... We're going to have them...
We've been buried here! God has buried us alive here! He wants us to die here! We shall...
A cylinder has landed on top of the house. And if you don't keep quiet, we'll both end up dead. They're right outside. Understand?
Are you hurt?
No, I'm fine.
No, don't move. There's shattered glass absolutely everywhere. There's possibly no chance we can move without making a noise. The Martians have built a new machine. It's a squat, metallic spider with these huge articulated claws. and a huge mesh basket on its back. I saw it stalking some people on the field, sweeping them up, tossing them with ease into the basket.
So they're collecting people now. What could they use us for?
Food. I saw them draining the blood of an innocent civilian and injecting it into their veins.
Are they still away? Well,
Other than a few stragglers, we're alone.
good. Well, I'll clean up the glass if you want to move around freely after all.
No, don't bother. I did it last night. I followed the Martians. I wanted to see where they were going.
Ooh, what's happened to your hand?
Yes,
Ooh,
I picked up some glass shards as I went around and cut my hand.
just the thing. Put that around it.
Thank you.
You just found. You know, I intend to continue my journey. Why don't you come with me?
I don't think it's a good idea. If the Martians see you, they'll surely drain your blood too.
That is a very good point. I'll tell you what. I'll wait here until morning. If they haven't returned then, we'll leave. Do you have any family out there?
Oh no. I've nobody out there to miss me. Nobody to mourn me.
I'm sure there are plenty of people in your parish who will mourn you. Or would mourn you. I bet you are a very valued member of society.
Well, you've just reminded me, of course, the church. They would miss me very much. The church, of course. There's the Darrows, a lovely young couple with two very bright boys. I christened them myself, and there's Miss Jolene. Her husband died, and she's been ever so brave since, and he was a very brave man, and she's very, indeed, so brave. And, yes, of course, there's Jodie and her father. She's only 16, her father was paralysed during the war, and he helps her out a lot, so I'm always there for her too, and she's got a bright future ahead of her. She even said that she's on her education route to even become possibly one of the first female doctors. Of course, the parish council.
Have you ever wanted a family of your own?
No, never mind.
I've been open with you. It's only fair that you're open with me.
Well, there was this one time.
You had your eye on someone, didn't you?
Maybe.
Oh, do tell, what's her name?
Samantha. We were childhood sweethearts, of course. And we went to university together and studied. She helped me, you know, she wrote letters to me and sometimes invited me down to her family house for Christmas dinner. And it's still quite weird, actually, but I hope that she still writes to me, and possibly one day I could go down there. What the hell is that?
I don't know.
It seems to be some sort of plant.
Precisely. This seems to be like some form of vegetation.
So, the Martians have brought this red weed with them.
Perhaps we could even eat the stuff.
Oh, you can go ahead. I will not be joining you. Could be poisonous.
Very true. Okay, yep, no, I am definitely not eating that. I wouldn't let it touch you. I don't know if it can climb. Just...
It's just a plant. Just a plant. It's just a plant. Okay. must eat. I can't starve. Mustn't die. Yes. I can't starve.
The master's returned. What the bloody hell are you doing with my bag?
I can't stop. I must eat. Leave me alone! I must eat. I'm a man of God.
You are a selfish bastard.
I can't stop.
Your own life and get us killed.
I must eat. I mustn't
You're
die.
clearly not well. You know, I think you might be good if you got
I
some
can't.
rest, yeah?
I can't. Leave me alone! I am a man of God. I must eat. I can't starve. I mustn't die.
Hands up.
I must.
Just think of what they would think of you behaving like this, like some overgrown child.
I must. Ah! The Martians seem to have gone. Are you going somewhere?
I was heading home.
You don't mind if I join you, do you? After all, you're the only friend I have.
I was the only friend you had.
Is this about my outburst?
What do you think?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. It won't happen again.
No, it won't happen again. Because I trusted you, and you've clearly proven to me that you can't be trusted. And I'm leaving.
No, please. Please don't go. Please come back. Please. Selina! No, don't move. You may still be concussed. That's quite a fall.
How am I alive? You saved me.
Yes, I must say you're very lucky. Any closer and you must have
But
died.
why did you save me?
You've done a lot for me. You've had to put up a lot of my nonsense, and it's the least I could do for you.
No, that's poppycock. That's more than enough than I've ever done for you. Look, if anything, I'm in your debt now.
Well, let's not argue about who owes who what. Let's just call it even.
Yes. You, Wait, am I dreaming?
No, you are wide awake, I must assure you. That's quite a rough and tumble, though. The plasma came shooting down. If threw up the rock beside you, you went flying. And you landed in a nearby river, and you nearly drowned.
How long have I been out for?
I'm not too sure. It's hard to tell the time these days.
So the Martians just assumed that I was dead?
Yes, it seemed like they had been called off somewhere like a beacon call. It just ran away.
The spirit of man lives on.
Or barely.
You know, I really can't figure you out.
Why?
Well, 1 minute, you're this really nice, sweet, innocent man. And the next you're trying to murder me in cold blood.
Yes, I must apologise for my rather erratic behaviour. Won't happen again, I promise.
Yes, well, you've proven to me how dangerous you can be. How can I assure that next time you won't actually get us killed?
Well, I suppose that nothing can wipe that from your head.
No, it can't. But you have to take it as it comes.
Yes.
Have you got any water? I'm quite
No,
thirsty.
You've been asking for hours, but seems kind of odd for someone who's nearly drowned.
I've been sleep talking.
Yes, it was rather intriguing, actually. It was a bit odd to hear about your wash routine.
Yes,
though,
well,
but-
a bit early for that. It would seem you... Where's my bag?
Oh, I left it outside. I'll be back.
Oh, yes, Curate, I'm fine. Don't worry about me. Worry about the bag, not me who had a concussion less than 5 minutes ago. What is it?
I found your bag.
What is it?
Oh, outside, yes. There's just some movement in the forest.
It can't be the Martians. What reason would they have to be sneaking around in the woods?
Wait, you don't think it could be?
I don't know. But I intend to find out.
Oh, Selina, please. Be careful. Dear Lord, it has been a long time since I last spoke to you, Father. The world has been chaotic, but you know that, of course. I come here today to ask for a favour. I have a friend, Selina, and she has well looked after me, and I fear for her. I had quite a fright earlier on. I thought she had died. But I understand that you knew it wasn't quite her time yet. But like I said, I ask a favour. Could you please look over her? Make sure she gets wherever she needs to be safely. Thank you, Father. Amen.
They're soldiers, and human at that.
What? How can you be so sure?
I didn't hit my head that hard. I know what I saw.
Well, come on then, let's go take cover with them.
I wouldn't. I saw those soldiers out there. They were placing landmines. They were hiding off to the east, just as you said. But I don't know how many there were. Planting anti-tanks.
Under the table! Under the table! Under the table! Ah! No, you go. Is it over?
I think so.
What's the outcome?
2 of the fighting machines have been downed.
So we won!
Well, the woodlands are ablaze, and the handling machine picking off survives, I'd imagine. Safe to say we're going to be stuck here for a little while longer.
It is useless. It is truly useless.
Well, they haven't left yet.
God wants us to die here. He has buried us again.
Well, don't lose hope. We'll get through this. You ready? You ready? You okay? You ready? No. 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 No.
Ah! Get off me!
Do it.
Ah! Ah! wretched place! I must bear my witness!
Shut up!
God, I must eat! Can't starve! Mustn't die!
I've killed him! Oh no, he's still alive, he's just unconscious.
Stop! Who goes there?
A friend.
Well, be on your way. This is my territory.
Terry, your territory? Good heavens, what do you mean your territory?
Wait a minute. You're the woman from Wacken.
This is the artillery man. No, I thought you burned.
And I thought you drowned, man. Well, come on in, sit down. Here, fancy this. Us meeting again.
I know, it's fantastic. Especially what I've just been through.
Well, ma'am, it sounds like you've had a hard time.
Yes, you could say that, but how did you get out of Weybridge alive?
Well, ma'am. I crawled down a drain. After the Martians went away, I tried to head for Walton, across the fields, but I didn't make it that far. It was only a rook. He started to learn the type of birds that pass through this place, man. Well, and plus, this place has a neat little book about it, so.
Have you seen any Martians?
Well, of course I have, ma'am. I've snuck up to their camp. It's somewhere in London. They have their lights. They're alive at night. You can see them all over the place. Mind you, I haven't seen them for around. Help me out. 5 days, man.
So we should be safe here.
For now, ma'am. For now.
Do you have any information on them?
Well, of course, ma'am. I have snuck up to their camp. I ain't stupid enough to go in, you see. But I did see them building a new machine.
So have I. See, I saw them building a new handling machine. They're using it to construct other machines and to collect people too.
People?
Yes.
But what do they need people for? Here, maybe they need slaves.
Maybe. You know, I saw them draining the blood from the people that they've captured, and they were like injecting it into their veins as like some sort of nutrition.
Oh, my stars. Those things are vile, miss.
I'm assuming you saw a different machine then?
Yes, ma'am. But you ain't gonna like it as much as the one that you saw. Listen to this. I saw them building a fighting machine that flies.
Oh, good heavens, it's a flying machine! With that, they could go across to other countries. They could go to France. There really is just no stopping them.
Well, think about it, miss. At least it gives us some time to rest. You know, rebuild.
No, we can't just give up hope, can we?
Well, no, we can't, ma'am. This is the time we gotta start fighting. We lost the war before it even begun, but This is the time we fight for survival.
Well, what do we do?
Well, miss, I've been thinking that I've got a plan. See, what did the Martians do when they first got here? What did they do? They swept us out. They destroyed our guns, our cities, our ships, and our beautiful ordered organization. And then, miss, what did they do after that?
I don't know.
They made their own guns, own cities, own ships, and own ordered organization.
I don't think some people would be so willing just... No, we can't give up like this. We can't keep travelling and hiding.
Well, miss, of course we can. But some people, they will die. And they'll love it. They'll have nice, spacious cages. They'll be fed by Martians. And they'll wonder what we did before we had them. And they'll love every second of it.
Don't be absurd. They would realise sooner or later that they're just being fattened up to be eaten.
Of course they will. Here, they might even keep them as pets. They might get a little bit sentimental over the pet boy that had to get put down.
Oh, don't be so morbid.
Here,
Anyway,
they might start training them to hunt us.
no human...
Don't lie! You know there are men out there that will gladly do it.
Okay, you're right. I hate to consider it, but you are right.
Right, miss, I got all flustered. And I forgot to tell you about my plan.
Yes,
My
please.
plan. We cannot live when they see us. So we've got to take the approach of a rat. We got to live under their noses, under their feet.
You don't mean
Oh, yeah.
underground?
Underground! I've been thinking. Drains.
Drain.
Yeah, there are hundreds of miles of them underneath London. They'll be sweet and clean now that the rain's gone through. And we can use them to build tunnels and subways to vaults and get materials and use them as escape routes if we got caught.
You don't plan on doing all this work alone now, do you?
Of course not, man. I will need clean-minded, able-bodied American men to help me build this tunnel.
So what about us then? What about weaklings like us?
Well, miss, you're different. You've got a sharp mind. We'll need you for other things.
So you even admit it?
Well, no. Now just putting words in my mouth, miss.
Right, I was only having you on. But what about the women? Where do they fit into your plans then?
Well, I will need clean-minded, able-bodied American women to raise the kids and teach them and keep the place clean and tidy.
Hang on a minute, that's a bit stereotypical, isn't it?
Well, I'm sure there are strong women out there somewhere. You've taught me that, miss. And I'm sure there are clever men, too.
Well, I guess you're a lot more open-minded than I give you credit for. And a lot more smarter, too, to come up with all of this on your own.
Well, thank you.
So the Martians, how do we monitor them?
Well, man, patrols. We set up patrols to go to the edge of their camp. We can learn from them. We can make science books from them. And maybe even make models. That's where people like you come in. We build libraries way down underground. We can fill it with science books and stuff. None of that Shakespeare nonsense.
We could even send spies.
Yeah, spies. Other than that, we'll leave them alone. They cannot see us. If they see us, we're game. In America, we're finished.
So, we live in a peaceful existence and expand our knowledge. Sounds like quite a solid plan.
Oh, thank you.
We could even build railways and tunnel out to the coast and then go there all on our holidays.
Here, see, now you're getting it. Imagine if we got one of those fighting machines. We could... Swoop! Bow! Coming home! Kill all the Martians! And then America will be back on top again!
No more Martians!
No more Martians! Here, I made a start already.
Well, let's see.
I've been here for about, 15 days now?
Oh, is that it?
Well, Miss Strong Woman, why don't you grab a shovel and help me out?
Well, that's what I will.
Well, you know what, man? I am exhausted.
Yes, I couldn't go on much further either.
Do you fancy a game?
I'm a bit thirsty. Have you not got a drink?
I have just the thing. Champagne!
No, I couldn't.
Well, I am the host, and I say champagne.
Well, I guess you've convinced me. Blackjack?
Of course, man. You're gonna have to do the math.
Absolutely.
Well, I was thinking, when we wake up in the morning, we have a nice, hearty American breakfast, and then we start digging on that tongue again.
Are you trying to distract me from the game?
Of course not. I'm just trying to keep a nice schedule so that we can keep this work going.
You know, if we can gather more tools and volunteers, that work will go a lot more faster.
Yeah, we could go in an origami,
A reconnaissance mission.
That's what I said. So, I told you to smart ass. One more game?
Another game.
Twist, stick, or bust?
Give me another one.
You're buzzed. Look at that, I'll win. Well, miss, I'm
I'm going to head to bed. It's getting a bit late.
Wake up, we gotta go.
What, is it morning already?
Yeah, come on, we gotta go. Take that.
Have you got any food?
Of course I have, it's in my pocket.
Okay, put it in the bag. Let's go.
Wait, my bird book. Can't go without it. Miss, we have been out in the open for way too long.
Oh, don't worry. We haven't seen any Martians.
Exactly.
Well, look, if it makes you feel any better, we'll find some place to hide. Look, there's an inn right ahead of us.
All right, we'll go then. Miss, this weed stuff's making me nervous.
Yes, I wouldn't touch it if I were you. I'm not quite sure how safe it is.
Right. Well, why is it turning orange?
I don't know. Maybe it's maturing. Or dying.
Well, we can find about that later. Let's get to that inn. Oh. Is there anything in here that ain't gone off?
I don't think so. Whoever was here was left in quite a hurry. If there is anything left over, it's probably taken by scavengers.
Well, we'll have to have something from the bag.
But did you ever make it to headquarters?
No, I did not. Try to get that far, but the Martians already got to it. Did you find your,
My fiancé? No, he's fighting away in Slough with the Martians. No, I just hope he made it out alive.
Well, man, you gotta have faith. If you ain't got faith, there ain't nothing left.
You're right. No use in giving up, eh?
Well, that's the spirit, ma'am. Get down!
What is that?
There, ma'am. It's rifle and cannon. Whoever's using them, they're clearly from England.
I thought they were dead.
Well, I'm not dead, am I? I reckon they need America to help them.
No, don't answer. If they're shooting, they're clearly shooting at something.
It's like bows and arrows against the light.
I can't see any Martians. Perhaps they're gone.
Oh, they're waiting.
Why would they be waiting? They don't know that we're here, do they?
It's a shame.
Yes, I know. I'm going to be stuck here a little while longer. I wanted to leave as well.
No, ma'am. I meant them soldiers.
Oh, yes, that is a shame. You know, if they'd have waited, if they'd gathered a few more men at least, then they might have stood a chance.
Some sort of American soldier I am, hey.
Oh, don't beat yourself up. But if you'd have gone out there, you'd have been just another casualty.
Well, I still should have tried for Uncle Sam.
Look, it isn't your fault.
Yeah, you know what? I guess you're right. I guess you was right. There's no point in getting myself killed now, is there? And plus, who would bring us into this brave new world if I went and killed the bucket?
Still can't see any. Either they're toying with us or they really have left.
Well, there's only one way to find out, man. Here, take the bag. Don't argue. I guess she was right, miss.
Evidently.
When I say make a break for it, you run.
No,
I don't care!
that thing will kill you without a second's thought.
And that is a risk I am willing to take, miss.
But you'll die if I leave you.
And we will all die if you don't.
Oh, be careful, Arthur.
She remembered my name. She remembered my name. All right then, you metal son of a bitch! Let's dance, motherfucker! Ah! Ah! Ah!
It's strange, isn't it? How fast the world can change in just a few weeks. I wonder if things will ever return to normal. I wonder if this is normal now. I made my way through London today. The red weed seems to be turning out and it's going brittle. I reckon it'll be gone before too long. I passed a drunk on the way here, but he seemed completely out of it and I thought he was going to attack me, so I left him there. Fulham Road was littered with dead bodies. Some of the outlines were just softened by the dust, and some of them had been disturbed, what I assume were dogs, but I didn't stay long enough to tell. Plunderers had been at the provisions and the jewelers' stores too. There was glass and watches and jewellery all over. You know, the stillness of the place was so profound, but well, it wasn't the stillness of death. No, it was the stillness of expectation. The expectation that at any given moment, the destruction that had once struck this metropolis just might return again. I find myself thinking of you quite often, away fighting in Slough. Are you safe? Did you get out alive? I wonder if we'll ever meet again. Why am I wandering alone in this city of the dead? Why am I alive when all of London is covered in this black shroud?
Sweet dreams
can't. Well, then they're dead. Oh, they're all dead. Completely wiped out.
Hello? Can anyone... Me? Hello? Hello? People of Great Britain, the invasion is over. The Martians seem to have died out. We believe that they were killed by the common cold, something completely harmless and everyday to us that their immune system was simply not familiar with, and thus they have died out. But enough about the science. We are free. We are free.
Now comes the strangest part of my story. Or perhaps not the strangest yet.
Just kidding. The next few days were fantastical but odd.
You see, I hadn't been the only one to discover the dying Martians. Soon the news had been spread throughout.
As I walked through the streets of London, I saw people going into their homes. Some even into the bar. Who can blame them?
You know, there was cheering and singing and dancing all throughout. And people who would not even take notice of me would stop and shake my hand. And the church bells rang out in celebration.
We got shipments from abroad. And by the second day, some stores were open.
I was overwhelmed by a mixture of emotions. I wandered the next few days in a sort of dazed trance.
I was rambling all throughout the streets, and there's one lovely family whose name I sadly can't remember, took me in and gave me clean clothes and food, and I told them my story, who they said I broke down in certain parts, but they let me stay there until I was ready to continue. And when I continued my journey, I went back home, back to Woking, and I found my house, and well, the door was wide open, and I rushed in thinking it had been completely ransacked, but to my surprise, everything was exactly as I'd left it. I made my way to the dining room, and oh, there was my fiancé. He'd made it out of Slough alive. Oh, joy does not begin to describe the moment that I felt. But once the question of another attack from Mars still causes universal concern.
Is our planet now safe? Or is this time of peace merely a reprieve?
Perhaps the Martians have learned from their mistakes, and we're planning a second attack right now.
All I'm certain is that for now, life can begin again.
It's looking good. Going good. We're getting great pictures here at NASA Control, Pasadena. The landing craft touched down 28 kilometers from the aim point. We're looking at a remarkable landscape, littered with different kinds of rocks. Red, purple. How about that, Bermuda?
Fantastic! Look at the dune field.
Wait! I'm getting a no-go signal. Now I'm losing one of the craft. Hey, Bermuda, you getting anything?
No, I lost contact. There's a lot of dust blowing up here.
Now I've lost the second craft. We've got problems.
All contact lost. Pasadena, maybe the intent...
What's that flare? See it? A green flare coming from Mars. Kind of a green mist behind it. It's getting closer. You see it, Bermuda? Come in, Bermuda. Houston, come in. What's going on? Tracking station 43. Come in, Canberra. Come in, Canberra. Tracking station 63. Can you hear me, Madrid? Can anybody hear me? Come in. Come in.
There's a starman Look out your window, I can see his light. If we can sparkle, he may land tonight. Don't tell your papa, or he'll get us locked up in fights. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a star.